and a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Global TV's news cycle, live in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Judith Peters. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has appointed a top prosecutor for the Economic Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Rotimi Oyedepo, and 6 others as new aides. The new appointees have been deployed to the Federal Ministry of Justice, Abuja. They are meant to function under the Attorney General of the Federation, the Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, Hussein Olawide, Special Assistant on Arbitration, Drafting and Regulations, Rotimi Oyedepo, Special Assistant on Financial Crimes and Public Prosecution Compliance, Monsurat Gafar, Special Assistant on Coordination and Intergovernmental Agency Relations, Marcus Obiene Fernandez, Special Assistant on Justice Sector Reforms and Digital Innovative Technology, Ahmed Wada, Special Assistant on Special Duties, Tolu Obamuro, Technical Advisor on Oil and Gas Arbitration and International Disputes. As well, the President Tinubu on Monday said he has absolute confidence in the integrity of his Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila. Tinubu said this just before the commencement of this week's Federal Executive Council meeting at the Council Chamber of the Presidential Villa, Abuja. His comment comes just 48 hours after reports emerged that the COS may be battling an integrity crisis following allegations that he has been trading off appointments in the government of President Tinubu to the highest bidder. The report alerted a growing outcry among Tinubu's loyalists who are insisting that Gbajabiamila is eased out of the presidential villa. But responding to the allegation, Tinubu said and affirmed that I have absolute confidence in my Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila. So all campaign of calumny, the book stops here. If I mistake, I will own it to them. I iron them out and correct them. Perfection is of God Almighty. People's Democratic presidential candidate in the February 25th election, Atiku Abubakar, says the Supreme Court and the presidential election petition have alleged truncated the trust of Nigeria and the electoral system in Nigeria. The former vice president, during a press briefing in Abuja on Monday, criticized the verdict of the Supreme Court on the 2023 presidential election. Kikelamo Okere completes the rest of the report.
The World Press Conference, where the former Vice President of Nigeria and the People Democratic Party presidential candidate in the 2023 general election, Atiku Abubakar, rejects the judgment of the Supreme Court that affirmed the election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Speaking on the verdict of the Supreme Court, Abubakar criticizes the electoral body and the judiciary for defending illegality.
I meant that the bigger laws would not be mine, but Nigeria's, if the Supreme Court legitimizes illegality, including forgery, identity theft, and perjury, as it has done.
Abubakar, however, emphasizes the erosion of trust in the electoral system and the importance of preserving Nigerian democracy for future generations. He advocates for reform to enhance transparency, build confidence in the electoral process, and restore voters' right to elect leaders.
The appointment of electoral officials has also been hijacked by the ruling party, as seen in the latest nomination of resident electoral commissioners, where card-carrying members of the ruling party and aides to politicians in the APC are being appointed into INEC. When two critical institutions like the court and the Electoral Commission are trapped in an evil web of political marginalization, it becomes next to impossible for democracy to thrive.
The former vice president, while acknowledging the end of the phase of his political career, expressed his ongoing commitment to strive for political and economic restructuring in Nigeria, primarily led by the young generation.
In my party, this phase of work is done. However, I'm not going to go away. If you think I'm going to go away forget about it.
It could be recalled that Atiku, being dissatisfied by the presidential election results, headed for the Supreme Court and subsequently sought to include additional forgery evidence, which he obtained from Chicago State University. But the court objected this on the ground that plea was made outside 180-day mandatory period stipulated by the law. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Following information of Bola Tinubu as the lawfully elected president of Nigeria by the Supreme Court, the need to foster the unity of citizens and involve an undividend presidency is believed to be critically needed to drive Nigeria's economic growth and development. Speaking at a press conference in Abuja on Monday, Emmanuel OBK, founder of the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, Uriwa, has called on all Nigerians to unite and work with President Bola Tinubu for the resolution of a more united and prosperous Nigeria. Sharon Ajay completes the rest of the report.
Nwobiko said the president should be seen as a leader to all, regardless of his political affiliation.
Tinubu is now the president of Nigeria. He's no longer the regional leader of APC. He's no longer a Yoruba leader. He is Nigerian leader. He doesn't lead the Yorubas. He doesn't lead APC. He is leading everybody. You know what's one good thing about somebody being a president? Even some of us who didn't vote for you, you are citizens. We're citizens of Nigeria. There's nothing you can do about us. You can't kick us out of the country. Yes. Those who voted, in fact, you need those who did not vote for you to become a president. If you ever have a president who has everybody voting for him, then that person is not validly elected. Then the election is rigged. You must have people who have voted for you and those who have not voted for you.
The human rights activist stated that the chief of staff to the president, Femi Gbajabiamila, doubles as a man of integrity and dignity who would not take any decision without the approval of the president, noting that the former Speaker of the House of Representatives is a discerning leader who pays keen attention to the appointments made within the government.
He is the chief of staff to the president because of the fact that he is a very senior member of his political party, the All Progressive Congress. He is somebody who has contributed a lot to the advancement and the growth of his political party in his region, the Southwest. He is such a person that, in the estimation of a lot of observers, he did very well during the campaign. He stood behind his candidate, the candidate he believed in. Some of us didn't vote for him. I'm talking of Bola Tinubu, who was a candidate of Femi Gbajabiamila and others. He worked relentlessly to see to the election success of his political party.
Nwobiko further stated that any scandalous propaganda against Gbajabiamila with regards to the purported financial inducement for appointment and replacement of nominated ministers should be viewed.
Not just Mr. Femi. Nigeria is currently facing critical challenges, and it is essential to focus on issues that really matter, such as development, sustainable development, security, and the problems of governance. We advocate unity and collaboration among address these paramount concerns.
The Uriwa founder therefore called on Nigerians to Gbajabiamila, as the intention of the mischief makers is to truncate the fulfillment of the renewed hope agenda. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
The former majority leader of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Edison Aye, has emerged the new Speaker of the State House Assembly. Meanwhile, the Chief Judge of Rivers State, Simeon Amadi, has been suspended. Global TV will keep following these developments for our viewers. As well, the embattled governor of Rivers State, Simi Nalayi Fubari, has declared that he has done nothing to warrant impeachment by the State House of Assembly. Fubara said this on Monday while addressing his supporters at the Assembly complex shortly after the House members led by the Speaker Martin Amaule convened to begin the impeachment process against him. The governor, who assured the people of the state of getting the dividend of democracy, said he would speak on the matter at an appropriate time. There had been reports of gunshots and firing of tear gas within the Rivers State House of Assembly complex on Monday as some lawmakers start to begin an impeachment process on Governor Siminalayi Fubara. The lawmakers also suspended the leader of the House, Edison A., and some of their colleagues believed to be loyal to the governor. The development occurred hours after a fire broke out at the Assembly complex on Sunday night.
By the voting, those that voted in favor of the removal of Edison A. as the majority leader of this House, 23, abstention nil, against nil. By that result, Edison A. is now removed as the majority leader of the Rivers State House of Assembly in line with our standing orders.
Members of the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria in Edo State on Monday shut the gate to the Edo State House of Assembly following the expiration of the ultimatum for the implementation of financial autonomy in legislative houses in the country. The situation, which developed into a protest in front of the Assembly, prevented lawmakers from accessing the chamber at the commencement of the nationwide industrial action on Monday. Umar Farouk Haruna, Chairman Person Edo State Chapter, said the National President of PASAN, Comrade Mohammed Usman, has directed all chairmen and secretaries to mobilize members for maximum compliance. He added that the nationwide peaceful protest was being complied by the Edo State PASAN members after the expiration of two-day ultimatum given to the government and governors of the 36 states to implement autonomy in all legislative houses of the country, which was further extended by 1 week and extended October 27, 2023. You're watching Global TV's news cycle coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. While StarTimes, channel 276, kindly follow us across our social media platform using a Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your TV screen. We'll be back with more stories for you after the short break. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, it's still Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the news cycle from the Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Let's take a look at some foreign news where Israel troops and tanks attacked Gaza's main northern city from the east and west on Monday, 3 days after it began ground operations in the Palestinian enclave that have increased international pressure from civilians to be protected. Israel's military said it has struck more than 600 militant targets over the past few days as it expanded ground operations in the Gaza Strip, while Palestinian civilians are in dire need of food and clean water as the war enters its fourth week. Israel began a big push into Gaza late on Friday and renewed calls for civilians to move from the north of the tiny coastal enclave to the south as it goes after Hamas militant. It says hiding in a labyrinth of tunnel under Gaza City. At least 3 people have been killed in the restive southern Philippines as millions turned out to vote for village leaders following months of deadly poll-related violence. Security forces were on high alert across the country on Monday as the long-delayed nationwide vote for more than 336,000 council positions got underway. More than 300,000 police officers and soldiers have been deployed to secure polling stations in more than 42,000 villages. The shootout happened during a confrontation between supporters of rival candidates for village captain, said Datu Oden, South Suit Municipality Police Chief Lieutenant Colonel Ismail Madden. As well, a human error was the cause of a deadly train crash that killed at least 14 passengers and injured nearly 50 in India's southeastern Andhra Pradesh state. A passenger train overshot a signal on Sunday between the towns of Almada and Katakapala in the Vesnagaram district, striking a stationary train. At least 3 cars were derailed in the accident. Government officials said that rescue efforts were over and the focus was now on track restoration in its action on social media following the accident. Prime Minister Narendra Modi sought to assure people that officials were working to deal with the unfortunate train derailment. The Ministry of Railway announced cancellation and devastation in the wake of the accident on its X handle. Meanwhile, hundreds of people have stormed the main airport in Russia, the Eastern region, ostensibly to protest against the arrival of a flight from Israel amid the war in Gaza. The crowd on Sunday broke past security, with some making it into the runway of Makhachkala Airport before they were removed by security forces. Russia's Interior Ministry said that 150 active participants in the unrest have been identified and 60 of them have been arrested. 9 police officers were injured in clashes with the crowd, including 2 were receiving treatment at a hospital. The government wants the protesters on Telegram not to continue illegal acts and not to interfere with the work of airport employees. The World Bank has warned that the war between Israel and Hamas could trigger price shock for raw materials such as oil and agricultural products if the conflict escalates across the Middle East. The World Bank gave this warning on Monday in a report. Israel officials said the oil has already risen 6% since the latest round fighting sparked with Hamas militants from Gaza stormed southern Israel and killed more than 1,400 people, mostly civilians, and seized nearly 240 hostages. Israel has responded with an unrelenting bombardment of Gaza, which the Hamas-run health ministry says has killed more than 8,000 people, nearly half of them are children. The conflict between Israel and Hamas comes as Russia's war in Ukraine has already put pressure on markets, with that war being the biggest shock to commodity markets since the 1970s, warned World Bank chief economist Itamar Gill. The World Bank added that any potential price hikes will depend on what happens to world oil prices and exports. The World Bank has said that the global oil price benchmark, Brent crude, will average $84 per barrel in 2023. The bank stated this in its Commodity Market Outlook report released earlier on Monday. In the report, the World Bank said that Brent crude oil prices are estimated to average $84 per barrel in 2023. Tapering further in 2024 due to global growth weakening, they are predicted to stabilize in 2025 as both demand and supply recover. According to World Bank reports, in the third quarter of 2023, its energy price index saw a 9% rise, primarily driven by an 11% increase in oil prices, making a significant portion of nearly 80% of the index. This increase came after OPEC Plus supply cuts, leading to an effective withdrawal of an additional 1% of total supply from July 2023 onwards. In the financial context, the Brent crude oil price experienced fluctuation, reaching a peak of $120 per barrel in June 2020, but receding by 23% to $95 per barrel by mid-October 2023. Various factors such as shifts in expectation for economic growth and alteration in OPEC Plus oil cuts significantly influenced this price variation throughout the year. Furthermore, oil prices were affected by the failure of major banks' fears of a global recession and OPEC Plus production cuts, which led to steady price increases over the last few months. And now in Nigeria business news, where the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC on Sunday lamented the devastating impact of the foreign exchange crisis on the economy and demanded urgent stabilization of the Naira. The NLC President Joe Ajaero, who said this in a statement on Sunday, blamed government officials' love for foreign luxury products for the free fall of the national currency. Ajaero warned that the economy was at risk of what he termed a wave of devastating consequences if the Naira failed to stabilize against the greenback. The NLC president warning came ahead of the organized labor and the federal government's meeting scheduled to hold earlier today. At the meeting, the federal government and the organized labor will review the implementation of the Memorandum of Understanding both parties signed on subsidy removal palliatives. As well, the General Secretary of Nigeria Football Federation, Mohammed Sanusi, has charged the Super Falcons to work as a team and bring their best game to tomorrow's 2024 Olympics qualifier against Ethiopia in Abuja. Sanusi made this assertion after watching the 9-time African champions training section. He reminded players and officials of the team that Nigeria has been absent from the past 3 women Olympic football tournaments, and this certainly does not credit to the country's rating as a leading global power in women's football. After failing to qualify for the 2016 and 2020 edition of the Olympics in Rio de Janeiro and Tokyo respectively, he charged the Falcons to book a place at next year's event in Paris. The NFF General Secretary said the Federation and all stakeholders remain very proud of the team and called on the team to finish off the job in Abuja following last week's 1-1 draw in Addis Ababa during the first leg. And for more updates on sports, let's now join Sharon Ajay.
General Secretary of Nigeria Football Federation Mohammed Sanusi has charged the Super Falcons to work as a team and bring their best game to tomorrow's 2024 Olympics qualifier against Ethiopia in Abuja. Sanusi made this assertion after watching the 9-time African champions training section. Sanusi reminded players and officials of the team that Nigeria has been absent from the past 3 women's Olympic football tournaments, and this certainly does no credit to the country's rating as a leading global power in women's football. After failing to qualify for the 2016 and 2020 editions of the Olympics in Rio de Janeiro and Tokyo respectively, he charged the Falcons to book a place at the next year's event in Paris. FIFA announced on Monday that it had imposed a 3-year ban on the former Spanish football chief Luis Rubiales following his first kiss on the lips of World Cup winner Jenny Hermoso. World Football's governing body provisionally suspended Rubiales for 90 days following his unsolicited kiss during the medal ceremony after Spain won the Women's World Cup in Sydney in August. FIFA said Rubiales has been notified of the decision on Monday and had 10 days to request a so-called motivated decision, which, if requested, would be published on FIFA's legal website. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
And that's it on Global TV News Cycle, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. On Startimes, channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platform using at Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your TV screen. On behalf of the production team, I am Judith Peters. Thank you so very much for watching.